Plane of Speak, the Universe Listens.
We cherish that. We love that particular piece of it because it
Teach people like, hey, it's okay. Change.
New ways to view age-old challenges. Change your thoughts, change your life. Step into the bigness of you.
Greetings and welcome to Speak, the Universe Listens. And today's topic is make yourself ready to receive. And we have been talking about redefining common thinking and the whole concept of God wanting us to be happy right now. And so a lot of times we think that we have to wait on God, or we're waiting for God on God's time and that type of thing. So that's the common thinking. But what we're saying is that God is actually waiting on us. And what we have to do is make ourselves ready to receive the abundant flow of the universe. And so I have Rodney and Stephen joining me today to talk about things that we can do to make ourselves ready to receive right now.
So pretty much I could say with anything, just preparing, making the space for ourselves to be where it is that we want to be. So when I say get ready, understanding that you already there. So you just need to go ahead and just start from where you're from, and wherever it is that you're at in your life, and you just sit back and say, okay, well, this is where I'm at. So let me see what it is that I need to do from this point. Knowing what I know, having what I have, and work from that space. As I would tell anybody, getting started, figure out what it is that you really want. Okay, from your growth, your thought process, how you want to grow, where it is that you want to be, and then focusing on that. After you start taking the actions and taking the steps of what you need to do, then to transcend from that, then you just basically need to sit back and move from your lower self to your higher self. So I'm telling anybody, have a plan for yourself. Okay, and not when I say a plan, I'm not making it sound like it's it's homework, but make it fun and enjoyable for yourself because it's something that you want to do. So anything that you want to do should be fun and it should be exciting. So get yourself, I would say that's one thing, to get yourself prepared in that direction.
Okay.
to make yourself ready. To me, it's three things. It's one, being open.
Right.
Two, leading with love with everything you do. And then the most important to me is just having gratitude for what you have now and the things you want to receive. So it's just about those three things for me.
Another gratitude.
Yeah, because if you can be thankful for what you have now and thankful for what you want to attain or what you don't already have,
Right.
the blessings just pour in. Everything you want just pour in once you're thankful for it, because you set your mind on it.
Very true.
And then, like what you said, is leading with love. And to me, that's the most important. And it's most important that we love ourselves. So a lot of times we think to be loving to the next person,
Right.
which of course we need to be loving to the next person. But who are we not loving enough? it's usually ourselves, and the more that we can love ourselves, the easier it is to love everybody else. And so I was actually listening to this entity, and they were saying whenever you talk to yourself negatively, to say it out loud.
Okay, all right.
It's like, because you wouldn't talk to your worst enemy the way you sometimes talk to yourself. And so if you can start becoming aware of how you're talking to yourself by saying it out loud, like that could be a game changer. But it is so important to lead with love. Like, that's the main thing. And I think that, again, loving yourself, but also learning to be less judgmental. And to me, that is so key, because we judge everything we see. We judge everybody that we see. And we kind of think that that's what we're supposed to do. But think about living a life, living a day, living an hour without being in judgment of something. That's another game changer.
But see, the thing about gratitude is it takes your mind off dissatisfied thought. You can't be open or ready to receive anything if you have dissatisfied thought about stuff in life. So, looking at everything and being grateful for it kind of takes your mind off the bad things. Like, so kind of changing your mind and your thinking, like we've been talking about, is the best way to get you ready.
Yeah.
I like what you said when you said about being open. Being open, basically just having that faith to know that the universe is going to have your back to get you the things that you want, and everything is going to happen in due time. So I like what you said about that being open, because some of the time, a lot of us, that's one thing that we don't do. One of the many steps that we don't do is allowing ourselves to be open to receive.
Right.
And we sort of block our many blessings. Just the universe just want to pour on.
Exactly.
So I would say that's one of the many things, because even for myself, I had through my journey and plenty of times as to where I close myself off from receiving the things that I asked the universe for. And I really didn't realize it though, but I was like, dang, man. I'm like, well, I asked for this career, I asked for this job, but yet it's like right there, it's like right there, but it was something in between that I was missing. That was just basically being open and just having faith. It was almost like a tuck of wood.
Yes.
How many people we know say, I want this kind of wife or this kind of husband, and I want this kind of love.
I was one of those people.
And they're not open to it because they have negative thoughts about men.
Right.
They got negative thoughts about their past situations not working or whatever. They're not open to finding love or love coming to them.
And like you said with that though, with that being open, it's shifting from that old thought process and going from, all right, this is how I used to think, so now I'm gonna open up to something new, and try to go from there, because you don't know what's going on the other side. None of us knows, none of us knows, but it's just having that open mindset and just openness to be with, to see what's gonna happen.
You're not ready.
Yeah, and like you said, so let's just use you want a relationship, but you've had these bad experiences, and so what are you looking for? You're now looking for, are they gonna do me wrong?
Right.
You're looking for right, exactly. So you call yourself protecting yourself, and I learned from my mistakes, and I learned from last time, and so you think that's a good thing because you're putting up, almost like these blocks to protect your heart and that type of thing. But really, what will get you there is to look for the good things, and the more you look for good, the more you're going to find good.
That's very true. That's very true. I can say for myself, I was there. I'd done it. Close love off. Close friends off. people that want to just help me. And because I had this independent mindset, you know, like I got it, you know, I don't need nobody, I got it. But then I had to realize that everybody needs somebody, you know, everybody needs help. So being open to really receive it. And when I actually moved from that mindset and said, you know what, let me try, you know, let me try to open up and, you know, take on some help. And I did it. It was like, okay, everybody ain't here. You know, everybody's not after you. You know, and I think sometimes we let our fear of the old, of what happened to us, you know, just sort of cloud our judgment a little bit, you know, cloud our head up that we just don't really want to be able to open up and just experience what the universe got for us.
Yeah, we can't make ourselves ready if we're being guarded or we're on the defense about everything.
Right.
So yeah.
Exactly. And so I know I keep going back to love and judgment and also appreciation and gratitude. Like, but those are the things that you need to have in your aura is love, gratitude, appreciation, joy, excitement, and to stop being so judgmental, because that just cuts off everything. Because whatever you're judging, and I think you said it recently, I can't remember when you said it, but you recently said that you realized that when you were, whatever you were looking at not loving in someone else, you realized that was a trait in you. And so, but whenever you're judging, you're looking at something outside of yourself and you're saying something's wrong with it, you're actually also pointing the finger back at yourself, and you're putting out the exact same energy that you are saying is so bad.
Right. That's something that I work on it every day, you know, and I think everybody in general just really needs to think about that. When you go out here and, you know, you see or you're dealing with somebody and they have that trait of something that you really dislike, like you want to change something in them, right? And so when you think about it, it's like, okay, you want to change the fact that your best friend, let's just use, you know, for example, you have a best friend, right, and your best friend is scared to live life. You live in life, you travel, you've been here, there, and the third, and yet it just irritates you that they do not want to just take that initiative to just go out and do it. Okay, so every time you say something, you're like, well, come with us, you know, to Barbados, or, you know, or to New York. They'll give you every excuse why they can't, and you get frustrated. So now you got to sit back and think, okay, well, what is it that just irritates me? Why am I so irritated that they don't want to live like that? You know. So when we sit back and we think about it, it's something within us that we're not really seeing. You know, because basically we are a reflection. You know, our energy. It reflects right back to us. So you have something that's reflecting right back to you. But your job is to sit back and figure out what it is exactly, you know, that's reflecting that.
From listening to us talk, I had this conversation. I feel like what you're focusing attention on is a part of making yourself ready to. Like how you said, people focus on why they can't do something or what would go wrong. Their focus is there. Their attention is all on that.
Their attention is on the wrong thing.
Right. So it's like you can't be open or ready or make yourself ready if your attention is on what could go wrong.
Right. And to take it a step further, this is so counter to what common thinking is. Like, common thinking is, if you know there's something that's wrong with you, you need to figure it out and make it right. But then again, you're just focusing on what's wrong. So there's nothing wrong with going that route. It really isn't. If you want to figure out what's wrong or whatever. But the truth is, there's nothing wrong. It really isn't anything wrong. And instead of putting your energy on what's wrong with me, your energy could go towards what you would like to be. So instead of saying, this is, I can't even think of something, but, I don't have enough courage or whatever. I don't have enough courage. I need to fix that. I need to make myself more courageous, because every time something happens, I shrink. And so your energy is in the wrong place. And so instead, you would say, what do you want? Maybe you want to be courageous. So you flip it and you put your energy on, okay, I'm a courageous person. And you start thinking like that. You start thinking, feeling courageous, because the more you're like, something's wrong with me, I'm not courageous enough, I'm not courageous, I gotta fix it. The reason why I'm not courageous is because this stuff happened. So okay, so now you know the reason why. But that doesn't change anything. That doesn't change anything. So you can do that, but that just is just like an extra step that if you feel like you want to take it, you can, but why?
I like your way better. Yeah. It's much faster. It can take you forever to figure out why, why you do the things you do, or why you think a certain way, instead of focusing on what you want to have, what you want to show up in your life.
Right.
Yeah, that's much better way.
And just it's also the whole thing of, there's really nothing wrong with us. Like, we are already perfect, and so all these things that have happened and the things that we believe about ourselves, most of it isn't even true. Like, it's just a story we made up along the way because something happened and this story came and we believe the story that we've been telling ourselves. Right. Well, just, we can just tell ourselves a different story.
Right. But you're absolutely right, though. Instead of focusing your energy on what's wrong with you, redirect that energy into what it is that you want. Because we can sit back and find a million things that's wrong with us, but it's just the thought. We think that something is wrong with us, but in actuality, it's really nothing wrong with us. It's just the viewpoint of how we looking at it. One thing though too, when you said something about love, love is one of the biggest things that I can say that really transform my life. Just everything that I do, try to do it from a place of love. I notice that results are quite different from how they used to how they used to be. So that's one thing that just made me just think about it when you said that, and you were talking about it. Like, okay, love is beyond one of the most important things, because a lot of the times, a lot of things that we do, we're doing things for ulterior motives. So like, you want to change your life, right? But what do you want to change it for? You should just want to just be able to feel like, okay, I just want to change because I just want to. That's it. I don't want to change just because I'm gonna get more money, or it's something behind it that I'm gonna get. It's just basically for yourself, your will.
Now, I was always like painfully shy, and in that, my attention was on me. So I'm like, I don't want anyone to look at me. I don't want anyone to see me. I don't want, so the whole focus was me. Like, I was just narcissistic in so many words. And it's funny because I didn't realize that by being shy, my attention was just on myself. But then, like, when you were saying about, both of you guys were saying about moving from a place of love, I'm like, okay, if I go into situations from a place of love, that means I'm being loving towards you. I'm being loving towards you. That takes the focus off of me. I'm no longer here. I am there. And so just that little act of just the shift in mindset caused me to not have to be so bottled up, and I was able to give the best of myself to the people around.
Changing your thinking on it.
Mhm.
That's so important. Changing your thinking, like when you're having a dissatisfied thought. Like somebody like, this day can't get no worse. And I'm like, think about the day a different way. Or they had a rough day, you know, and if they would have stopped in the middle of that day, the middle of that rough day, and would have thought of the day different, the whole day would have been different after that.
Mhm.
They just changed their thinking on what the day was.
Yeah. So, making yourself ready to receive. So we've discussed the whole idea of leading with love, leading with gratitude, shifting your mind, raising your vibration, being in a place of happiness and joy, and just realizing that it's a different way you can look at things. You can it's almost like look this way instead of instead of this way, because the opportunities they're just all around us. And we just can't see them because we've blocked ourselves from them. We've closed down the possibilities with our very thinking. Like, because we don't think the opportunities are there. We're thinking it's something outside of us that has to happen. But really, it happens from the inside out. And so, this, in terms of making yourself ready to receive, one thing is really being able to be in connection with your internal clock, your internal being, and Stephen kind of alluded to that, but we'll talk a lot more about how to align, how to hear your inner self speaking to you, the part of you that knows exactly what you would love, in ways that you could never even imagine. And so once we'll get to that later on, as the year rolls on, how to bring that part of you out. So, any closing comments, guys?
Yeah.
Well, I would tell everybody, love yourself. Okay? just love on yourself. It's okay to open up. It's okay to shift your common way of thinking into something totally different. Because one thing about it, you're growing, and everybody is growing. And I think one thing about it, though, you start from where you are, and then from there you just roll with it. You okay, just go with the flow of things, and slowly but surely things will start to change for you. But just know that the common way of thinking has to change, and when it does change, then you'll see a significant change in your life.
I would say that to me, the most important thing Arvette ever told me was to take responsibility for everything that happens to you, because when you do that, you take the power back. So when you change your thinking and not blaming this, not blaming that, when you change your thinking and you turning everything that happens to you, you taking your power back and you making it positive, and you changing your thinking, that in itself makes you ready.
Agreed. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for joining us. Until next time, this is Arvette.
This is Steve.
Rodney.
Bye-bye.